First at 4, the spring heat wave is definitely over, and it looks like you'll be dodging some rain. Find out how the forecast affects your weekend plans. Nick.
I'm Nick Monacelli. In the city of Detroit, we're known for a lot of things, but guess what? Now we're known for something else. Bees. I'll tell you why.
All right, thank you, Nick. Also ahead, Prince's fortune. A judge decides who will share the late superstar's estate. But up first, we're tracking a child abuse investigation in Detroit, and the baby's grandmother tells us the little boy has died.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we start with that heartbreaking story. A Detroit grandmother telling us an 11-month-old child has died. That baby has been the focus of an abuse investigation since yesterday. We're told relatives were babysitting that child at his home on Grandmont in Detroit when he was rushed to the hospital Wednesday night. Police say the child had severe internal injuries, also a skull fracture, so they opened an abuse investigation. The grandmother tells Local 4 she has no idea how the injuries happened. As you see there, Jason Colthorpe has been very busy throughout the day working this story. Spoke with the grandmother, and we'll hear more from her on Local 4 News at 5. A child is safe, a mother in the hospital after a barricaded gunman is arrested in northwest Detroit. It all started around 10 this morning on Lenore near 8 Mile and Telegraph. Police say that's where a woman went to get her child when the father turned dogs loose to attack her and then fired a shot before barricading himself inside. Shortly after they got to the home, officers stormed inside and arrested the man. The child was removed from the house by police and is okay. No word on the mother's condition. A lot of people are talking about this freak accident. It happened along I-696 in Warren. A chunk of concrete smashed the windshield, hitting the driver in the face. In this update, we can tell you the victim is having facial reconstruction surgery this afternoon. The accident happened on westbound 696 at Hoover on Wednesday. Hoover, I should say. At least 2 other drivers reported similar incidents. MDOT is analyzing the piece of concrete to try to figure out what's happening at this stretch of road. And the story really hits home for our Local 4 family. The driver having surgery today is 42-year-old Teresa Thomas. Her husband Mike works in our production department. We are hoping the surgery goes well, and we are wishing Teresa a quick recovery. 5,000 people still without power right now after yesterday's windstorms. The storms knocked out power to more than 70,000 homes. DTE says crews are working 16-hour shifts until all the power is restored. Fortunately, they say most of the power should be restored sometime today. Well, it wasn't the wind we're dealing with today. It was those cooler temperatures. And you know, I don't know if it was necessarily that cool. It was so hot yesterday. It was kind of a shocker today.
That's right, Karen. What a difference a cold front makes, huh? And we have a couple of showers that are or were out there. You can see these here appearing on 4 Live radar. Notice how they dissipate as they get closer to the Motor City, but then there's more off to the west. Got this one leftover shower, very teeny tiny one just north of Monroe, but still we might have some leftover wet spots out there for the evening commute, plus this additional rain on the way, which will arrive here in Detroit and the rest of southeast Michigan between now and 7 p.m. So be prepared for just a little more wetness during the evening. Look how much cooler it is. No, not low 80s. We're looking at low 50s, almost a 20 to 30 degree difference with 52 degrees at City Airport, 54 at Metro Airport. Will it be cooler or warmer this weekend? And any more rain? We'll talk about that coming up.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Got some breaking news from the White House, and it's already been a turbulent 2 weeks for President Donald Trump. At this hour, he's flying to Saudi Arabia, hoping to leave bitter domestic battles behind him. But right after he left, the New York Times releasing a story saying President Trump told the Russians he fired, quote, nut job James Comey, and firing him relieved great pressure on the president. The Washington Post reporting the investigation into possible coordination between Russia and the Trump campaign has identified a current White House official as a significant person of interest. The White House continues to deny any collusion with any foreign entity. This news just breaking right now. We'll have more reaction as it's available. Meantime, Kimberly Gill's in the newsroom this afternoon, tracking all the latest developments on Capitol Hill. Kimberly.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The man everybody wants to hear from right now is Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. He's held 2 closed-door meetings on Capitol Hill just within the past 24 hours. Today, he met with all the members of Congress. Last night, it was a closed-door meeting with all the members of the U.S. Senate. Rosenstein is giving them an update on the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel. Mueller will investigate possible Russian interference in the 2016 election, any possible connections to the Trump campaign, and the firing of former FBI Director James Comey. While questions remain for many members of Congress, both parties seem to be ready to let Mueller do his job, saying it's important to just go ahead and move forward.
The threat that somebody in Russia or some foreign land could dictate who sits in the Oval Office and determines our policies and our destiny should upset every single one of us as Americans.
That, for me, is the most important question there is, will the special prosecutor have the ability to follow any and all leads? I was quite satisfied that was answered with no hesitation that Director Mueller will have that ability.
And still unclear is, will Congress be able to carry out its own investigations without impeding the work of the special counsel? While the president hopes his overseas trip will turn the page, it's likely he'll return to plenty of lingering questions when he gets back to Washington, D.C. And we'll be monitoring it all for you right here on Local 4. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. In other news this afternoon, former New York Congressman Anthony Weiner wept in court as he pled guilty this morning in connection with a sexting scandal involving a teenage girl. Weiner was charged with transferring obscene material to a minor. He told the judge he has a sickness, but he does not have an excuse for what he's done. Under a plea agreement, prosecutors recommended Weiner serve 21 to 27 months in jail. He was released on bail pending sentencing in early September. Weiner must now register as a sex offender. A man accused of driving into a crowded Times Square yesterday is facing a long list of charges. Police have arrested 26-year-old Richard Rojas. He's charged with 1 count of second-degree murder, 20 counts of attempted murder, and 5 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide. Police haven't revealed an official motive, but 2 sources tell NBC Rojas heard voices and the act may have been deliberate. The young woman who died is from Michigan. Family mourning the loss of 18-year-old Alyssa Ellsman of Portage. That's near Kalamazoo. Her 13-year-old sister is among the dozen injured. Here in Michigan, we're seeing the first signs of the West Nile virus, so far just in birds. The state health department says the virus has been found in a turkey in Berry County and in 2 crows from Kalamazoo County. Last year, the virus killed 3 people in Michigan and caused 43 serious illnesses. The first signs the virus meant is crucial to take precautions if you spend time outside. Experts say anyone over 6 months old should use mosquito repellent outdoors. You've probably heard about the vanishing bumblebee population. It's a problem if you care about things like growing food and eating. This year, the rusty-patched bumblebee was listed as an endangered species. The overall population has plunged by almost 90% since the 90s. Bumblebees used to be found in 28 states, but are now down to just 13. That's why a new study in Detroit is making big news. Our Nick Monticelli shows us why the Motor City is also becoming the Bumblebee City.
So here's the thing, you're probably thinking Detroit and you're thinking big city, lots of concrete, which is the truth. Downtown, not a whole lot of bees here, not a big problem. But go pretty much just a few miles in either direction, and that's where, well, that's where the buzz is. In an effort to be completely transparent with you, I have to say, I don't know a thing about bees. So when I read this study from the University of Michigan, I Googled Detroit bees. First, you'll see that urban beekeeping is still a hot thing in the city, but that's honeybees, not bumblebees. Then you'll meet the Detroit bees. Not exactly what we're looking for. And of course, there's the Transformer Bumblebee, who came to Detroit before the big movie premiere. But just like the U of M study says, we find our answers where nothing exists. The student study shows bumblebee populations are increasing in Detroit because of vacant land. So what, bumblebees like their space? Not exactly. We talked to a Michigan State professor to back up this U of M claim, and he agrees. It makes a lot of sense.
Why, sure it does, because anytime you increase the amount of flowers then you're going to have more bees, including bumblebees.
Ah, so all this unkept land, flowers and weeds growing like, well, weeds is the attraction. The study says these areas are less likely to be treated with pesticides, and there's easier access to build hives underground.
So something like an abandoned rodent nest underground might be a good site for a bumblebee colony.
But what about us? Is this thing going to sting me?
They're not really a threat in any way. You're very unlikely to be stung by a bumblebee. You would have to either sit on one or disturb their nest. Otherwise, they're really harmless.
Got it. Good for the environment, and don't sit on them. I suppose the only real problem is all this vacant land, which would be better suited with a colony of humans. In Detroit, Nick Monticelli, First at 4.
All right, thank you, Nick. Still to come, First at 4, an emotional reunion after a tornado disaster. One man is able to hug two friends he thought he'd never see again. Also ahead, new information on what happens to Prince's estate. Millions of dollars at stake, but they'll probably end up with far less than they could have. Up first, an update on the teacher who disappeared with one of his students, the charges he's facing, and how long he could be behind bars. But before we go to break, a reminder to enjoy the Preakness tomorrow. It's one of the biggest events of the year. Coverage kicks off at 5 p.m. right here on Local 4. We'll be right back.
You know, they say
Coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
For many of us, we don't leave home without it. The smartphone has become a way of life. But are you addicted?
Absolutely. They are in everyone's hands at all times.
Tonight, we have simple questions you can ask yourself to see if you might have a problem.
All right, look forward to that. Thank you, Priya. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all across America. Charges have come down today on the Tennessee teacher accused of kidnapping one of his students. 50-year-old Tad Cummins was arrested in California last month after he was found with the 15-year-old girl. The two were missing for 38 days. Today, Cummins was indicted today on charges of transporting a minor across state lines for criminal sexual conduct and obstruction of justice. If convicted, he could face life in prison. One firefighter is dead, 2 others injured after a massive strip mall fire in Texas. The fire started late Thursday night in San Antonio. More than 60 firefighters responded, but they couldn't stop the flames from growing out of control. Ultimately, fireman Scott Dean got trapped inside and was killed in that fire. The 2 injured firefighters were taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay. Take a look at this rescue over in Tampa, Florida. Electrical crews were called in to help rescue an osprey that was caught in some fishing line and dangling from a nest high up on a pole. Using a bucket there that you see went up high in the sky, they were able to reach the bird and cut it loose. Because the bird was injured, it will be taken to a center for birds of prey to recover before it will be released back into the wild. Some good work there. Also, look at this heartwarming video. This is an amazing reunion following that tornado destruction that ripped through 5 states earlier this week. That's Ron Belcher, and he feared he lost his dogs forever when that storm hit his Wisconsin home. But look at this. They're reunited. You know, he did try to save the dogs, but his next door neighbor's trailer actually smashed into his home and then they disappeared. He had no idea if he'd ever see them again. But as you see, they survived. They were allowed to visit him in the hospital. Belcher's suffering from a broken hand, also some cracked ribs. Doctors say recovery will take a while, but knowing his pets are okay definitely relieves that stress and definitely help him recover a bit.
Yeah, a lot faster too.
Yes.
What a heartwarming story. You're right, Karen.
Well, Andrew is back. We would like some warmer weather, but I don't think that's going to happen today.
No, we're done with the 80s, but only for now. Maybe for the next 7 days. We'll see what happens beyond that, but we would also like some dry weather. It's going to be on and off. It's going to be touch and go, it looks like, Karen. Right now, we already had some showers move through earlier this afternoon. A lot of those dried out. You can see them moving across Manchester, also places like Ann Arbor, but look at how they dissipated within the past hour or so. But we have more rain right on its heels. We had one little teeny tiny shower, the one that was just north of Monroe. It's now moved farther to the east. You can see that here north of Stony Point in the northern portion of Lake Erie, right near the mouth of the Detroit River. This batch of rain right here, it's on the way for us as we go through the early evening hours, anywhere between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Then we have the second batch here. That is on the way for tomorrow. But it is springtime. We do need showers here from there. We can't be all dry every single day of the week. Looks like we'll at least have some on and off rain through this evening and then once again tomorrow. Fortunately, the winds, they become a lot calmer, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're up to 15 miles per hour. That's still pretty moderate, but they're not very gusty. No gusts being registered over at the airport, but 54 degrees currently. Those will be temperatures at the start of tonight's baseball game. Rangers in town taking on the Tigers at 7 o'clock. Just after 7 is when the first pitch is. Bring your jackets. Make sure you stay warm over at the ballpark. Might need to bring a poncho also, because by the time the game starts, we'll have some of that light rain overhead. Tigers are pretty good at starting, even if there are a few raindrops, so still try to come down for an on-time start. We'll keep you apprised of that too. Much cooler, as you can see, chillier in fact, for our friends in Port Huron, with winds out of the northeast off the chillier waters, 46 degrees there. It's 53 for our friends in Ann Arbor, low and middle 50s all the way down to the Ohio border. All these temperatures, we talked about this last night, 30 to 40 degrees lower than what they were 24 hours ago. What an amazing difference from day to day. Those showers continue to move through as we go through this evening. Some areas like in Livingston County might see a heavier shower or two. Not much in the way of thunderstorm activity. The cooler air tries to move away. This warm front gets closer, brings in some higher temperatures for Saturday and for Sunday, but it brings the possibility of rain too. Mainly midday for tomorrow. Then with this warm front and this next area of low pressure, a better chance of rain showers for a longer period of time during the day on Sunday. So if you had to pick, Saturday is the drier day of the two overall. So we're looking at 51 degrees overnight tonight. Scattered evening showers. They'll be on and off through about midnight. Some more showers return from a separate system as we go into tomorrow, mainly midday, lunchtime, and just before 4 p.m. A little bit warmer, but not by much with an easterly wind. Only around 60 degrees, barely. Then we're back into the 70s, Karen, with a better chance of showers and storms on Sunday. And as you can see, temperatures in 60s for highs, 50s for lows next week.
All right, some rainy soccer games tomorrow, that's for sure. Thanks, Andrew. During the summer, a lot of dog lovers bring their pets to the dog park, but pet owners beware, thousands of pets get injured each year. Up next, the most common injuries and how you can avoid the most expensive problem. Up first, a royal inheritance for some members of Prince's family, but there is a catch.
The art of
In today's trending stories, a judge has decided that Prince's 6 siblings will share his estate. Prince died more than a year ago without a will, and his estate has been tied up in court ever since. Other people have tried to stake their claims, but the judge limited inheritance to the 6 siblings. There could be appeals. Prince's estate could be worth $200 million, but because he died without a will, taxes could eat up about half that amount. Well, Pippa Middleton, the sister of Britain's Duchess of Cambridge, is marrying her hedge fund millionaire fiance tomorrow. James Matthew and Pippa began dating nearly 2 years ago. Last summer, Matthews proposed to the 33-year-old. Pippa turned heads when sister Kate married Prince William back in 2011, wearing that figure-hugging dress. Her wedding at St. Mark's Church in Englefield will include close friends and family like the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and also Prince Harry. Well, we do have a warning for pet lovers about the most expensive problem that could affect your pet, and it's something that can be avoided. Nationwide Insurance recently looked through the most common medical complaints reported at dog parks. Sprains finished first, affecting some 24,000 dogs. Bite wounds came in second, so watch your pets near other dogs. And the most expensive injury was heat stroke. Now that's something we can all avoid, averaging more than $700 a claim, so do not keep your pet in the heat too long and make sure they have water. And you can also see stories like this online. Just go to the All for Pets page at clickondetroit.com. It's a great place to find pet news, share photos, and talk to other pet lovers. Still ahead, forget Professor Plum and Miss Scarlet. How about playing Dorothy, Blanche, or Sophia? The Golden Girls getting their own board game. We'll talk about that coming up next.
This is Duke, 185 pounds of South African Mastiff. Intimidating, even if he's friendly.
And then he got aggressive towards our son. I'm like, okay, this is not working out at all.
Michael Berkey is a dog behaviorist and says before you can train your dog, you need to understand how he thinks. And contrary to what you believe, he's not thinking about you.
They have a big desire to please themselves.
Your dog can be a joy or a nightmare, but it's not all on him. He worked a miracle on Duke. Can he work one for you? Tonight at 11.
What's even